Yo, what up guys, it's Cousin. We're back with another video. We're going to be talking about rogue clickies this time. Please make sure to like the video and also please subscribe. This isn't going to be like a 100% comprehensive list of every single clicky in the game. It's just going to be some of the most important ones. And if I do figure out that I missed something or you see something that I missed that's worth putting on the list, just let me know and I'll be happy to add it. We're just going to start in Classic and we'll work our way down. The good thing about rogues is there's not a whole lot of clickies that they really need. So that is one benefit of the class. So let's just start in Classic here and we'll get going. So the first one is Amulet of Necropotence. This is just an illusion and a clicky. It's good for mobs that dispel, so you can keep your buffs. Next we have Crystal Mask. This is a right-click Gather Shadows. It's from a Plane of Sky quest. You don't have to get this, but it's kind of nice because it will allow you to invis without having to be really slow. So if you don't have like a run speed buff and you're trying to sneak around, this is kind of good against the visibility mobs, and maybe you can just use this, then use your sneak as a backup if it's going to fade. Next we have J Boots. This is no brainer here. It's a run speed buff and also good for clickies against the spell mobs. Pegasus Feather Cloak. This is going to be a levitate item. It's a pretty rare farm, but if you need levitate, this is a good option. Shield of the Immaculate is just right click Cure Disease, instant cast, and you can get diseases off yourself, which is really nice. Moving on to Kunark, we have Blood Orchid Katana. This is a right click Sal with an 8-second casting time. You can actually use this on anybody, so that's really nice. I would pick this up if you can. Bracer of the Hidden is just another instant cast quickie. We have See Invisible. You can cast this on other players if you want. It's also a nice utility to have. Fungus Covered Great Staff. I threw this in here in case maybe you're stuck soloing or something like that, and you want to, or maybe if you're like twinking a rogue out, it's good for like a rogue twink if you're just like soloing by yourself. It's a right click HP regen, so to help you get your health back faster. Fungus Covered Scale Tunic. I threw this in here even though it's not a clicky, it's actually a worn effect. It's going to give you 15 HP regen, which is a lot, again, so if you're just twinking out a rogue or maybe you're soloing on a twink, this is a good item to have. Myrochlor's Breastplate. This is a right-click heal, and it's going to heal you for 115, but if you look at the cast time, it's only 6 seconds. So this is actually better than the Velious Quest Armor for rogues, which is a cast time of, I think, around 14 or 15 seconds. So pick this up. This is better than those, and for that reason I actually left the Velious class clickies off this guide. Since this one is better, the thing is this one's from Trachanon, so until you're able to like maybe box Trachanon later, this might be a little bit harder to get, but it is a really good item in Era as well. Next we have Shrunken Goblin Skull Earring. This is going to give you a right click Grim Aura, which will increase your attack rating a little bit, also good against the spell mobs. Also, I don't normally mention this, but I probably should for the rogue guides. There's actually a couple of other items that come later you can get Grim Aura from. There is a ring from Temple of Vishan that will give you, I think it's from Arinor, that will give you Grim Aura. And there's also one from the Arc Lich in Sisera Temple, Faded Skull Medallion. That is actually a neck item. So if you do for some reason can't get this, this is the easiest way to get it because it's just such an easy farm. Those other two items do offer Grim Aura as well. For Velious, we have Eye Patch of Plunderers. This is a 20% haste quickie. This is a quest. Flowers of Functionality is going to give you 50 to all resist. Each flower will give you a 50 resist buff to a certain school. If you get all 5, you can get 50 all resist to every school of magic. Polymorph Wand Force Fairy. I don't know if this actually comes out in Velious or not. I think it might come out in Luclin, to be honest, but I threw it in here. I know it doesn't come out in Classic or Kunark, but once the current servers log are progressed to Velious, I'm actually going to log on them and check, see if it is available in Velious or not. But you can get this from the store. It's 750 points. It's going to give you a levitate buff, and it comes from the illusion section of the store. Next we have Dane, Ring of Dane Frostweaver the 4th. This is a really good attack rating item and also going to increase your regeneration rate. It's also a really good item overall in Era. I would try to do this quest if you can. If you have a raid guild that will help you do it, I would recommend doing this as a rogue. Tri-plated Golden Hackle Hammer. This is a right click arc shielding. It's a 0.1 second cast time. So this is just a nice little HP buff to have. Trident of the Deep Sea is a cold base slow. It's going to give you 10% cold base slow, and this is going to be useful later for like Emperor Syrah. You can actually proc a slow on him and make him do a little bit less damage, so this is a nice utility to have. Will Sapper is extremely rare, but this is going to give you a proc-based, magic-based proc slow, and again, this is not a clicky either, but I thought it was worth putting on here as a rogue. This is a pretty decent item to get. Moving on to Luclin, the first item we have is Belt of Marvelous Visions. This is going to give you 30% haste and also 50 stamina. Maybe you might want to give this to the tank since it has a lot of good tank stats on it. It has pretty good rogue stats on it too. The AC is really high, which might be good for a tank, but they might have better belts. But if you want to pick this up, it's a really, really good clicky. 50 stamina and 30% haste. Next we have Bracelet of the Shadow Hive. This is just a right-click shrink item. The best one in the game for a while. You can cast on other players, and it's only a 1-second cast time. Dusty Sora's Worker Patch. This is good to summon some fangs. You can use them to like pull stuff if you need to pull something. The range on them is 170, so it's not like super long, but it's also not super short, so these are pretty useful if you need to pull something. Gloves of Warding. This is just a completely optional item. Plus 50 to magic resist if you decide you want to pick this up. Ring of Resistance is going to give you 10 to all resists in the form of an AA. This is completely optional, and you have to do a quest to get this item. Or I'm sorry, this isn't a quest item. This is actually from the Blob in Vexthal. I was thinking of another ring. Sigil Earring of Veracity. This is going to give you right-click Acumen, self-only. A good clicky item, a nice little utility. Good against the spell mobs, and also the stats on this item are pretty good. For a rogue, probably not worth doing this quest, but I thought I'd throw it in here just in case you want an extra clicky. Wand of Imperceptibility. This is a self-only shrink with an 8-second cast time. So if you can't get Bracelet of the Shadow Hive, this is a good alternative. And most people will end up with this wand, since the bracelet is a rare drop and you're going to be competing against a lot of people for it. Wistful Tunic of the Void should not be on here, so I'm going to take this off. So I decided not to be lazy, and I actually changed this tunic here. It was Wistful Tunic of the Void, but the chain version is called Vengeful Tunic of the Void. It's going to give you 225 health, and it's going to give you 40 cold resist and magic resist. These two items are just self-only Sal boots, or Sal items. If you can get this Blood Orchard Katana, this is better than both of them. But most people just go for these Uterum studded leather boots. It's a right-click self-only Sal. You can't click in on other people. So if you do want Sal, you can pick this up. And this has the same effect here, but this requires killing Kadi Shah. It's kind of an annoying quest, so most people don't end up doing this. Planes of Power, we have Bangle of Disease Warding. Right-click resist disease, and you cast on anybody, and it's instant cast. So again, it's another instant cast spell. And it's fun to have. You can spam it on people and just troll them or whatever. It's kind of a fun item. Club of Slime is also a 10% cold base slow. You can get this in Planes of Power. This is actually off a group mob in Plane of Earth, so it's a little bit easier to get than the one off in Temple of Ishan that we talked about earlier. So you can pick this up, and again, it's good against the Emperor and mobs that are immune to magic. Earring of Celestial Energy. This is just a right-click resist item with 20 all resists. Completely optional, and it's going to give you the resist in the form of an AA. Serrated Dart of Energy. I would pick this up as a rogue. This is going to increase your attack power by 25. And I think that's in the form of an AA as well. Next we have Silver Hoop of Speed. This is going to be the first over haste item that you can pick up, which is like a version 3 haste, equivalent to like the Bard's over haste spell that they have. So this is only going to give you 5% though, but if there's no Bard around or you don't have a Bard in your group, this is a really nice item to have. It also has really good stats. For a rogue, it's got Heroic Dex on it, which is great. Next we have the Planes of Power Ornate Set Gear, which is the Stanos gear. The gloves will give you 30% haste. The legs will give you a Summon Poison item, so you can proc some poison. And the breastplate, it will give you Shield of the Arcane, so this is going to replace the Dane Hammer up here. The tri-plated Golden Hackle Hammer, it'll replace this. but it's going to give you a an HP clicky. Where were we here? We were Thanos gear. We were. This is going to give you Shield of the Arcane, so it's going to give you HP, AC, and magic resist. Next, we have Symbol of the Plane Masters. This is kind of optional if you're like going for like Super Abyss. It has a direct damage proc on it, but it will push the mobs around, so you have to be careful of that. But if you really want like a little bit of extra damage, you can pick this up if you want. Maybe if you're an Agnar, this might be a good item to pick up. Otherwise, probably just leave it to the tanks because it does generate some aggro. The Bindin Coransada, this is going to give you, this is a quest item that will allow you to gate to Plane of Knowledge. So you can bind wherever you want, and you can still have this option to gate to Plane of Knowledge. It does require a reagent that's made from alchemy, but the reagent actually costs a little bit less than an actual gate potion, so that's kind of nice. Tonpo's Mystical Pouch. I like to pick this up on like pretty much any melee character or anyone who can use it, because this is a really good pulling item to have. It's got 250 range on it, and it's just really convenient. So moving on to Lost Stones of Norath, we have Cloak of the Fleeting Foot. This is the best Sal item in the game that you can use to cast on yourself or other players, and it only has a 3-second cast time, so this is really nice for a rogue. You know, medium. If you want it, it's a fun item. If you don't want it, that's fine too. Completely optional. Crimson Bauble of Rights. This is going to give you a right click. I believe it's plus 20 attack, and I believe also it stacks with the Planes of Power clicky. So this is going to give you even more attack, so I would pick this up if you can. Really nice item to have for rogues. And lastly, we have Faded Gloves of the Shadows. These are going to give you a right-click strike poison, which is a buff that will allow you to proc a poison direct damage when you melee. I would definitely pick this up if you can. It comes from Struggles Within the Progeny, which is Eldon raid out of the Butcher Block camp. But that pretty much covers everything. If you do see anything, just let me know, and I hope this was helpful. And please make sure to like the video, and also please subscribe. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.